Welcome to Wind Down and Focus. We are Annette and Christina, photographers with over 15 years of experience in portraits, branding, and senior sessions. We're here to share everything we've learned along the way.
We focus on creating genuine, memorable moments through the lens and can't wait to bring you tips, stories, and behind the scenes from our photography journeys.
Each episode, we'll chat about photography tips, stories, and fun, all while sipping wine.
So grab a glass, sit back, and join us for some casual conversation, laughs, and photography goodness. Let's wind down and focus.
Welcome to episode 4.
Today we have a very special guest and we are super excited to introduce you.
We are here this morning, and we're going to get to our guests soon, but let's start off with what we're drinking this morning.
What we're drinking, yes. Since it is the morning, we didn't
Yes.
want to do a red wine.
Right.
So we're doing sparkling wine.
Which is very
Or,
good.
you know, to most people, you call it champagne. But it's technically only champagne if it was produced in Champagne, France.
Okay, that's
But
good
it's
to
like
know.
it's like calling all tissues Kleenex, you know? It's
Oh.
like everybody calls tissues Kleenex, even though you might have the Walmart brand.
Yeah, right,
know.
right.
It's that same idea.
Idea.
But
Okay.
yes, it's
Didn't
only
know that.
champagne if it's from Champagne, France. This is from France, but it's not from Champagne, France. But I have got a very good one. This is my absolute favorite. Annette will tell you I love my bubbles.
She loves her bubbles.
Love my bubbles. So this one I have found, and it's a good staple, and it has a really good story, which is why I picked it. So I'm going to go through the sparkling wine. I'm going to go through the sparkling wine notes, and then I'm going to tell you how we're drinking it to make it a mimosa this morning. So this, like I said before, is from the, oh my gosh. Okay. Let me tell you guys first. So I'm going to say French words, and I'm going to say them wrong. My husband
Did you take French class in high school?
No, I took Spanish, and I can't even do
because
that.
I think everybody
I know
has to
Lo
take Spanish.
siento, which is I'm sorry because I know no Spanish.
Okay, go on with your French.
Sorry. So I'm going to say it a little choppy, and I apologize. I even had my husband, he looked up how to say it correctly through Google Voice, and I'm still going to chop it up. So St. Hilaire is the champagne that we're drinking. Excuse me. It is from the Limoux region of France.
I wouldn't know how to say that either, so you're doing
I'm
excellent.
doing good. Okay, good. I'm going to power through. Okay, let me tell you how you spell it. Limoux. All right. So this champagne is a sparkling wine from this region of France, and it was recognized as the country's oldest sparkling wine. This is what's so cool about it. So dating back to over a century before champagne. So ideally, you can think this was the first sparkling wine ever created. And you know who it was created by?
No.
Monks.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Interesting.
So this wine is primarily made from a grape called Muzak. I'm saying it wrong. Mauzac. But it also contains a little bit of Chenin Blanc and Chardonnay. But normally it's mostly that other grape.
Huh.
The way champagne is made, there's a couple different ways, but the one we're going to talk about that this one is made of is called the traditional method, which involves secondary fermentation in the bottle. The records indicate that the Benedictine monks of the Abbey of St. Hilaire were already producing it as early as 1531, solidifying it as France's oldest sparkling wine, well before the emergence of champagne. So pretty cool, right?
That's cool.
Right?
It is it's good. I like it.
And it's affordable. It is affordable. Yes. It is about $12, almost $13 a bottle.
Yeah, that's a steal for
that is
a good champagne.
Exactly.
Or sparkling wine.
Yes, I know, right? So with most brut styled sparkling wines, it's going to have a yeasty aroma, a crisp palate, citrus flavors. You're going to get a little bit of pear, green apple. I definitely get the pear and the green apple and the citrusness in it when I drink it.
It's very refreshing.
Yes. Right.
And let's
why it's so easy to drink.
Right. Well, yes, you got to drink in moderation because a bottle of champagne can go pretty quick.
Yep.
And then you're in my experience, bottle of champagne, I'm out for the day after that.
For the day. Yeah. Well,
I mean, I might be a lot of fun first, but then I'm
rest of the day today, right?
Right.
Okay, so this is how we're drinking it as a mimosa. You can do your standard orange juice in your glass and add the sparkling wine to it. But this past holiday season, I came across a TikTok video that gave me a great idea. So here's what you do. You get those really cool silicone ice trays, the ones that make the big square block ice cubes. And you buy some cranberry juice, some fresh cranberries, which if they're out of season, you can get frozen fresh cranberries from the frozen aisle. And I think they actually work better. You get nice big navel orange, and you get some sprigs of rosemary. And you basically combine all of that. So instead of water as the ice cube, you're doing that cranberry juice. And then you're putting in a few frozen cranberries, a slice of orange, and a sprig of rosemary just for prettiness and stuff. And you freeze that. And then when you're ready to make your mimosa, you put that in your glass. And we're drinking out of wine glasses instead of champagne glasses because that's the only way the ice cube will fit. You put that in there and you pour the sparkling wine over it. And it gives you like a colder, which is always good.
It keeps it cold.
It keeps it cold,
nice.
a colder, and just a light
cute
little mimosa. So it's very good. I highly, highly suggest it. I might have given it as a couple gifts over Christmas. So
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
and
right?
it's very beautiful. So it would be great for entertaining
It's very
for the
pretty.
holidays or even in the summer. Like
Yeah.
I wonder what maybe in the summer instead of cranberries, do oranges and
You could make your own
something that
version of it. You could do orange juice frozen instead
orange
of cranberry.
juice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And mix it up. Oranges and
I've actually thought about doing that. I'm sure the main reason, well, I've had cranberry juice as mimosa instead of orange juice before.
right.
But with it being the holiday season, when I found it, cranberries are more prominent and stuff.
And
in
stuff.
that time of year. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm thinking summer. Like with summer coming up, what
Mhm.
would be a good mix? Orange juice.
Do you like grapefruit?
Yeah, I love grapefruit. So I
do
love
I.
putting grapefruit in
Grapefruit
mine.
juice frozen
Yes.
would be delicious.
That would be good.
So plenty of ideas, guys.
Yes,
Play
so
around
mix
with
it up and let us know what you
Yes,
try because
yes.
these are super cute and have some fun with it and entertain your friends and guests over the summer with it. Or just
That's
sit on the back of your patio or deck with a nice
Yeah. Watching your birds.
mimosa first thing in the morning. Go get you going.
We both
Just
technically had
limit
coffee
it.
first, and
Yes.
now it's mimosa
Yes.
time.
thankfully it's a Friday for us
It is
right
a
now.
Friday.
So
Yes.
it's
Yes.
okay. It's weekend time. Here,
Yep.
we'll just go ahead and clink to that.
Cheers.
Cheers to Friday.
Right. So on to our guest. I hope you guys enjoy this episode.
Welcome, Nathan. You're our special guest today. Tell us a little about yourself, what you do, and where you're from.
Special guest is probably right. If we're
It
being
is.
honest.
You get gooey butter cake.
Ooh, I know you carried that down for carried that around for days at sink, and I never got
did.
me on fire. But anyway, I'm Loker from Effingham, Illinois, and I've been doing photography for about 14 years. Crazy enough, like I keep asking myself this every day, like where does time go?
Right?
And I guess it makes sense for this industry for us to create those memories, but man, it literally is just a blink of an eye. But been here in Effingham since 2009, so almost 16 years, and doing photography for 14, which is mind-blowing to me. But
Wow.
I focus mainly on high school seniors. I love that genre, and I've been working diligently, really try to get the 8th grade sessions, which are like mini senior sessions going, and that's always a harder one because a lot of areas don't graduate them as much.
Right.
If you can hit 2 or 3 or 4 of those a year, it just makes you or has you a better younger following for your Instagram and parents to continue to see your work. So that's always a plus. And I also focus on, I guess we call it volume. So like tumble and cheer studios, and then travel sports leagues and some small private schools. And then the other part of my photography business is photography workshops. I've actually grown to love education and teaching and sharing, and that's ironically my favorite part. I guess
That's your
there's no-
jam. You're good at it.
Yes.
Well, thank you. I
Yes.
don't
You
feel
and
like
Josh
there's
are
a lot
very
of
good at it.
expectations there for me besides just share what I know, and I enjoy that part. So that's become very core to my photography business, I guess. So there you go.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's
Love it.
you in a photography nutshell. Awesome.
Me
I love
and
it.
all over
All
nutshell.
over.
What is one thing about you that most people might not know?
Well, and I was actually pondering this question yesterday. What does that really mean? I do a lot of weird stuff, but for, maybe I should
Acrobats? No.
redefine that. And that too, swing from trees.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love to barbecue, and that can mean a million different things. But again, it's a visual side and an art side to the craft. And, as a dude, we like to play with fire. So again,
Uh-huh.
I absolutely love having the smokers on and fire and wood. And that's the only smoke I can stand to be around with that won't affect my breathing is
It's got to be a
Ironically.
guy thing
Yeah,
for sure.
it is. It is. Set something on fire, cut a tree
Right.
down, use a chainsaw. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that would be my. Well, I think I shouldn't say. Maybe this industry doesn't know that as much. But I walked into Walmart, or I walk into an IGA, which is an Illinois Grocery Association here, and it just cracks me up because like I've been doing photography for 14 years, and then when I walk into Walmart, someone will look at me really oddly, and I'm like, yeah, and they're like, are you the Loker guy that does barbecue? And I'm like, oh yeah. It's getting out there, but it's just one of those things. I'm like, that's not even what I do mainly. So
Right. Right.
And if it's something else, you're like, I didn't do it.
it wasn't me. I don't know
Yeah,
that guy.
it
He's a
wasn't me. I
clown.
don't know.
It's my evil twin.
Right.
That's right.
That's awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about your workshops and, what they are, who they're for.
Yeah. So last year was our official 5th year with Josh Hanna and myself doing our all seniors workshops. It stands for athletic lighting on location, but we've kind of blended it to some other areas. COVID shut down 1 year, so technically this would be our 7th year, but
Nice.
minus that year, this makes out 6th year this year. So to be honest, I was doing a lot of one-on-one training here and there for people who wanted to make the journey out to me. And one day Josh was like, hey, Loker, let's do some workshops together. And I was like, you know what? Josh has a huge name. I'm not sure why he wants to work with me, but I'll do it. So I was like, all right, Josh, I mean, I'm fine with, 60-40 split or a 70-30. Honestly, don't care. And he's like, no, dude, half and half. And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yep, I wouldn't do it any other way. And I was like, okay, I don't really know you, Josh. I mean, we've talked here and there, and that's just kind of where it boomed from. And
That's
I was
crazy.
blown away. The first time we hosted a workshop was at his location in West Virginia before he moved.
I remember you talking
And
about
we
that.
had people fly in for Oregon and Washington State and California. And I was like, what is going on? Like, this is crazy. And after that first year, I was another thing that a lot of people don't know about me and I've really had to work on is I'm not really an upfront person. I've had to work to get out of my shell. I'm
You
actually
out of your shell?
I know. I'm actually terrified of people.
You're like the social butterfly at workshops, or not workshops, workshops
Yeah.
and conferences.
Well, I'm actually a natural introvert and didn't like being around people, being up front. And I've really had to work on that. But, after that first year, I was like, okay, I'm kind of liking this. And then the second year goes by and the third year. And now I'm just like, I love, these workshops. I kind of strive to want to make them work and hang out with people. And I don't know if it's more so too also is one, being around people, but two is you get to get new creative avenues and all these locations. And man, we have been to some incredible locations, from San Antonio,
amazing pictures,
Connecticut too. I mean, it's just been awesome. So that's kind of where it's kind of started from, and it's just kind of evolved. And we've produced now, well, I don't know, I shouldn't say that. Last few years, we've been trying to offer 3 a year.
I was going to say, even though it's been the official 5 years, you're not just doing 1 a year.
Yeah.
You're doing multiple cities.
Yep. And
did you start out doing 3 a year?
Nope. We started out with 1. The first 2 or 3 years, we started with 1. And then 1 year, I think it was maybe our 3rd or 4th year, we jumped in, decided to do 2. And we were blown away how many people actually booked. And then the next year, we're like, well, we'll just offer 3. So what happens? And they almost all sold out within a couple months. And we were just like flabbergasted. So that was exciting with that. So we've continued up with it. But, with COVID restrictions being gone now, and it's been 5 years away, everyone's starting to offer their stuff again. So we just got to learn and be creative and continue to grow it.
Yeah.
And see where it heads. So,
well, it gives you those cool locations that we can't, like everybody from different areas can't get.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of similar to us. You're close to us, St. Louis. Like you get bored with the same
cornfield
shoot. So yeah.
Tired of flatlands. We need something different.
Right. You need a little
all the
bit more
farms.
interesting, which normally you can't. Yeah, I mean, you could go, but it makes it more fun when you can go with a bunch of people. So
yeah,
for sure.
Well, how about you tell us, since we're still on the subject of the workshop, what a typical day looks like if somebody does your workshop?
Yeah. So these workshops have evolved. So an average workshop that we do are typically 3 days. So we'll spend 1 day focusing on our off-camera flash, the art side of creating images. So we'll start around 9. We meet up with everybody and we hang out for about 30 minutes and get our name tags and checked in and, break off into our groups. And then we'll break off. If it's typically a 20-person workshop, I'll take 10 and Josh will take 10. And after a few hours, we flip-flop. After a few hours, we flip-flop with that concept. But our goal is to share as much as we can. And as we continue to teaching that day, we do like to show everybody what we create how we came to that conclusion, and then give whoever's there the freedom to work with that as well and shoot and learn. And so what we always try to teach people or share with people as well is we're not saying that's the one way and the only way. We're just reminding people that light creates a pattern of light to the subject, and the shadow tells the story. So we're shaping the person through a storyline of light and shadows. And so we're trying to bring that story to life through whatever they're doing. And typically we're focused on sports. So we work with gritty and grungy, athletic, sweaty people, and we want it to look pretty awesome with that. So we break down those scenarios, and we don't just say, hey, here's our settings, just jump in there and do it. It's like, here's our settings and here's why we chose them. It's going to be different tomorrow because the sun's going to be out, or it's going to be a cloudy day. And so work with the concepts that we're teaching and then break them into your own. And my style is I like to shoot even darker. And I hear people all the time like, well, I don't really want to go that dark. And that's totally fine. And so that's kind of how we start to break down the days. Josh will do his thing as well with the same concept, but he works with neutral density filters and other things like that. So that's a whole new world for a lot of people. But we break that down. We get to a lunchtime. We get to hang out a little bit more. We get to go do some more shooting in another location. Again, we're trying to change the scenario. So we're not just saying, here's the one thing. We want to give information that turns into some application as you guys go home. Day 2, same concept, but typically this is our seniors on location, not on sports. So I teach another realm. I teach high-speed sync typically on this point because I'm teaching a different usage of different lenses and why, and with a faster shutter speed and how that works with flash. And so Josh still goes back to those ND filters. So we actually teach about 3 or 4 different styles in the course of those 2 days. And we also typically, and I can't always say this one out loud if you've never been, but the next part is we may have a challenge. You just never know. So
yes, I remember the challenge.
Yeah, you may get to be a part of something amazing and win some really cool stuff, you know. And then day 3 is all business. So we're not just an art workshop. We want to incorporate business because if we're not making money, then what's the point of all this? At the end of the day, we're going to get burnt out. So we want to provide for our businesses and our homes. And so we teach, consults, sales, and pricing and how those work. And then we've got a buddy who teaches now video to the social media side. His name's Luke. He's incredible. Luke Marzano.
He's amazing.
You can follow him under at Rewind It on Instagram. And he'll dive into all the depths of that. And he creates all of our video stuff as we go along. And he'll make, 2 or 3 reels a day and does live application, which is so cool. And then Josh in the afternoon will touch on the rest of it on editing styles and depth, in which he records, by the way, so you don't have to sit there and try to keep up. He will record it so you can have it when you go home.
With a pink drink.
What was that?
With a pink drink.
Yeah, with a pink drink. Card box. I mean, if you ever, want to hang out and drink one of those, I won't be offended. But yeah, Josh does the rest of that. We record it and we get it sent home. And then we do talk a little bit about volume, tumble cheer studios, travel leagues as like a supplemental income. And we kind of blend that in and how it can work. But yeah, that's a 3-day workshop and it is intensive. It's like a mini boot camp. You will get a lot of information. At least that's what I feel like. And we share as much as we can with you. So
yeah, we enjoyed it. We'll say we both had a lot of fun.
We did.
Drug Christina with me and
well, yes. So yeah, speaking about the skills and all the topics that you guys go over, you were signed up for it.
I was signed up and I
didn't know about it. And she told me, and there was still an open spot, I think. I can't remember.
I think, yeah.
So then I signed up and we had a lot of fun. I was telling her last night when we were talking about it, I was like, I thought it was a year ago, but it was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
It was
Kansas City.
Yes.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yep.
And even though it was close, we still got some, like you could go downtown there and feel safer than you can in St. Louis.
Oh yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So we still enjoyed it, and it was nice because we could drive, so that was good.
It was a nice drive.
We had a good drive,
but it was pretty cool getting to see you guys, like exactly like what you said from my perspective, seeing how different you guys work, but yet you give really good information, and I definitely went home with different ideas from each of you. So it was very awesome.
You both teach, I think my takeaway was you both teach different. So we learned 2 different perspectives, which was awesome. And then you got the editing. And then of course, Luke was awesome at recording our steps.
He
liked to get a little bit. He didn't add it, I don't think, but he liked to get over and see us trying to get our steps for the day when March standing there
trying to get our steps while you were teaching.
Well, that's what I also like about Josh too, is everything like we do is kind of the opposite, which I think is ironic. I'm Nikon, he's Canon. I'm Mac, he's PC. I teach, a certain style and he'll teach it the other style, but we
Yeah.
come to similar conclusions and that's always fun. So yeah, we don't say there's one way. We have options and
That's right.
Yeah.
hopefully people can blend parts of everything and take
Yep. And then
all
then
that
from
and
there
apply.
they create their own style.
Well, and
Yep.
they learn their nuggets,
Mhm.
right? Like
Yep.
some of us knew some of that, but we learned a little thing. Oh, we can shift this. Or I liked I think you did too with Josh with the circular filter for
Yes.
cars.
Yes. I had never really used filters until I saw Josh using them and how to use them. I was like, oh, this is a lot cooler than I thought.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
know.
So it's a lot of good information
He's
between
like,
both of you.
now they're not sweaty. And I was like,
Right.
we actually do that, but
So I loved it.
I loved it. It was
We had a lot of fun.
Yep.
very cool.
And if she wins the free ticket, she's bringing you a cheesecake. If I win the free ticket, I'm still going to bring you a cheesecake.
She has to pay me for the
I'll
cheesecake
pay for it.
and
You
pay
gotta
my
fly it
travel
on the
there to
plane, like
deliver it
that.
in person.
Put it through the X-ray machine.
There
Don't
you go.
spill it
Yep,
on the
yep.
other side. That's
Okay,
amazing.
so tell us what your biggest lesson you've learned as an educator running these workshops so far.
What, thinking about this is kind of difficult because it's like, anything. It could be like parenting as well. Like you can tell anybody anything, like the phrases, you can lead a horse to water, but you
I
can't
was
make
going to
them
say that.
drink
Yep.
it. But like you can share this information and you can watch, and it hurts, when you watch people walk away and they don't apply anything. You're like, well, did I even teach good? Was it something like that? But it's the reality is some people just aren't there to the point where they're ready to take it on and don't realize that they can push themselves. I know it took me a few years to realize I can actually make money. I deserve to make money, or I
Mhm.
deserve, like, it does become a value thing. And if you don't value yourself, typically a lot of the people don't apply it. And so that's become, I think, the biggest lesson within that journey, is because you want everyone to leave and walk out and be like, apply everything instantly. But I also have to realize not everyone wants our exact style, and that's okay.
Right.
So take some things, apply them, do that. But that's, I hate when people say, well, I didn't get anything from a workshop. This can be any workshop, by the way. I'm like, well, did you take notes? No. Did you go home and set up a 2 or 3 day window to break down your notes and then apply them? Well, no. Well, then that's not really anyone's fault but yourself. And so you have to take initiative with
Yeah.
that. So if you don't, then you have no application. You just spent money and was like, okay, that's it. So
That's it.
hardest part.
Hey, I got a mannequin from the Sync workshop.
She did.
I bought one and scared my husband with it.
She did.
Practice with in the studio or just to hang out with?
Well, I am, but I had to scare my husband with it first. So
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
And she got it on video.
I do. I'll have to send that to you.
I've not seen
Can we put it up
posted.
on our social where your husband?
He might kill me on that one.
I was like,
Darn it. Put it in the
But you have to take stuff home and apply it. I'm just saying. I took the mannequin home.
she applied it right away.
Step 1, scare husband. Step 2,
Yes, you actually use.
nice. I like it.
All right. So, can you share a success story from a past attendee who took your workshop and how they learned and maybe transformed their business?
Man, there are so many. I'm always excited to say, like, when people do take our workshops, we do see things and people apply them. And I say this humbly because I was very encouraged this year at Sync Print Competition. During the middle of it, Darty messaged me and just goes, dude, you and Josh have influenced the industry. And I'm like, I'm just blown away that people are looking at these things and applying them and doing those things. And not that they're trying to mimic us to a T, they're just application. They're doing it. And it's really
Right.
cool to watch them grow. And there's one in particular that's won the free seat to, Kansas City, Katie Schwatek. She was just incredible. And she just, rants and raves over what we've done. And I'm just like, all we did was share information. You put the work in. And her work this year was incredible enough to become photographer of the year at Sync with all the stuff that she turned in.
That's
She did a
awesome.
Cool.
fabulous job. And she has just applied it. And these last 2 years, she's been able to, where she wanted to quit in 2020. Sync revived her. And then she took our workshop 2 years ago, 2023. Yeah. And she took off and now she's buying her first studio. It's getting remodeled and everything. So to say that you can't make a change is a lie. And when you believe those lies, then you don't get to go anywhere. So we always want to encourage, push yourself, but you have to put the work in. And she'll say that too, is she went home and she did the work and she put in the time and she kept figuring out. And when you run into those issues, you don't just give up. You
Right.
keep pushing. And that's where
Right.
the learning comes from. And that's where the confidence comes from. And that's where the value comes from. So she was just, to hear a story every time she talks, I'm like, I just showed you some camera settings and it clicked. You
Yep.
did the work. So
Yep.
that's always fun to see
Well,
that.
and you guys are really awesome because there's the Facebook group. So like if you come home and you have questions, you guys are great at jumping on, answering, or
Yes, you guys respond very quickly.
anybody
That's
in the
good.
group.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Sometimes it's like, man, we get overwhelmed. There's so much to do, but I feel like that's what Josh and I's heart is. We don't want to just say you took our workshop and that's it. Like we believe in you guys and we
Yeah.
want to watch this industry grow. Like this isn't just about us, providing for our families. It's about us. Like what's the phrase? I'm trying to think how it goes. Like if everyone's in separate boats, but we raise the water together, all ships float together who work together. That was a terrible way
Right.
of putting it. But
No,
that's
good. I liked it.
all ships rise is
Right.
what I'm trying to say. When we help each other out. So that's the plus side of it. And I really feel like that's the core of what Josh and I want everyone to get out of that.
That's awesome.
Well, and you guys, you connect. You don't just in a workshop see people and forget who they are. I feel like you guys connect with
Yes.
each individual that's there and you remember who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
that's a personal thing. Like that's
Yeah.
very important, I feel like.
100%.
I will say this, if I forget your name, it's not because I forgot you. I'm just really, really bad with names.
Right. No, I am too.
I get it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not offended if people come up to me and be like, remind me your name again, because I'm the same way.
But
Well,
I get the face.
Yeah.
right. But you
Yeah.
recognize the people
Yeah.
that you
Oh,
spent
yeah.
this time with and you
Yep.
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's awesome.
Awesome.
I will say that my first senior session I had after coming back from your workshop, you guys gave me this like confidence that I didn't have prior.
Yeah.
And it was senior boy at a golf course. And I was like, I got this. I got this. And I was really happy with the way they all turned out because I had you guys like talking to me in my brain.
Dude, they're all super scary. So
That's really cool. We love it. It was awesome.
For sure.
All right. So, final question. If you could give just one piece of advice to photographers who want to level up their senior photography, what would it be?
it's going to be kind of like a mini two-part answer. Number one is just to be serious about it. You've got to be serious. If you're not, and you just always say, well, I'm not good enough, or I could learn something, or I may try. It's ultimately not that. You have to believe in yourself through getting serious. And once that clicks, I think for me, it was one of my first years in business. I was literally working a job that wasn't making enough money. And to that point, I was going to end up being the stay-home dad with my daughter. And my wife was working full-time, which at that point we were not making very much. That meant if I were to have someone babysit our kid or raise our kid for me, I was going to work all day at this one job just to give all my money away to someone else. And so when it hit me, I was like, I've got to feed my daughter.
Right.
The reality check for me. And I guess some people may be watching this and they have no kids or whatever, but that's not the point. The point is you are valuable. The second part is value. You're valuable and you're worth it, and never think otherwise. And that's something to the core of who I am. My core is joy. If you've ever taken an Enneagram, my core is joy. And I hate watching people suffer because I've suffered, and I don't want people to suffer, and I want them to be successful, and I want them to fit in, and I want them to be a part of something greater. But you have to believe in yourself, and it comes from that root core of your purpose. And so I think to answer that one is, twofold is you have to be serious about it, because if not, you're never going to go anywhere.
Right.
But then to value yourself that you are worth it. And with that, it's kind of hard because we grow up in a culture that typically tells us we're not worth it in a very unique way. Even though we say you are, our culture doesn't believe it. And so we have to kind of fight through those negative thoughts to push ourselves to get to that next level. And when it clicks, it just makes sense. And then you just like forget everything else. You're like, okay, I am valuable. I am worth it. I do deserve this. I do want to have retirement. I do want to have kids. I want to send them to college. I want to whatever. And when you put those steps in place and connect those dots, I think that makes the biggest change in your business as to what you're accomplishing.
That's awesome.
That's a great answer. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
agree. 100%.
I just used AI and typed it in. I said, how would you?
Well, I did good.
I mean, AI is great for everything.
Yep.
Oh, that's
Yep.
funny.
Okay. So do you want to tell us about your upcoming workshop dates and cities?
So we've got 3 workshops coming up this year, as we were talking about. The first one is April 28th through 30th in Topsail, North Carolina. This is a blended style of seniors athletics on location. So we do teach athletics lighting, whether it's in a weight room or in a gym or all those different styles. But this is going to be like a blend. Let's say we're going to be on a beach walk and there's a very cool artistic wall that everyone has painted on and created some graffiti on. We're going to create, like a stylized senior in a suit, maybe jumping with a basketball between their legs with a hard light on that. So we're going to have a blended style there, which is going to be,
awesome.
I think, pretty dynamic.
Yeah.
With that.
Can I win that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on and hang out. It's going to be super, super cool. So, and we'll go over the business side again and editing. The next one's going to be actually another cool addition we did last year, is add on some speakers and bring them in with us. Well, this year we're bringing in Kane Sampson.
I love Kane.
Yeah, he is
I got him in trouble at Sync, but I love him.
Yeah, he was. You said you got in trouble with him at Sync?
Well,
are you surprised?
I kind of put the tinfoil on his head. It was supposed to look like a unicorn.
You're the one who did that.
Yes.
Yep, you're grounded. But yeah, Kane will be there. He is the man of media days, like one of the originators of this concept of going to schools and creating a marketing campaign and also make money from it. It's not just something you show up and do for free. He will teach the whole process beginning to end, and it's going to be awesome. And then we'll have our different blends again with Josh and I, and then Luke teaching more social media stuff. So we're going to have 4 of us break down some things in there. And that is, I don't know if I said it, June 16th through 19th. So yeah, that's going to be a super cool one in Canton, Ohio. The last one is more for people who have been there, done that. It's August 4th through 6th in Indianapolis, and it's called The Challenge. And our goal is to boost confidence and take your lighting to the next level. We're going to be put on day 1, just like, here's a junky spot. And the attendees are just going to say, create this, do this. What would you do here? And Josh and I are going to be put on the spot to create something from it and hopefully make it magnificent. So hopefully I don't fail too much with that. But
I love that idea.
Yeah,
it's going to be like, I will probably force myself to take out more lights. Typically on a shoot outdoors, I bring 1 and use the sun as my second. Well, this is going to boost that concept and then, work through the process and the posing and the lighting and all that. And then day 2, we're going to flip flop it and put it back on you guys, whoever attends. So it's cool. We're going to go back out to different scenarios. Be like, all right, here is your spot. What would you do? And if you start fumbling around, we're not just going to let you fail just a little bit, because that's how we learn. But we're going to help walk through that process with you so that you can really grow. And that's actually only limited to 10 people, which is
wow,
that was a smaller one.
Okay.
So this is going to be very hands-on with that. So be ready to hang out with just a couple people. We'll be a little boring, but it's going to be fun.
Awesome.
Boring, never.
Never.
Yeah, never.
How can people apply?
How can they apply?
Yeah.
Yep. So on my website is lokerphotography.com. That's LOKER photography.com. If you click under photographer, it'll show a link to click onto our workshops. Those 3 red boxes will pop up and you can click one or the other. And it'll actually, ironically, send you to Josh's website, which does all the back end stuff and tracks all those clients that are booking and or whatever with it. So click that, jump in there. You can see the pricing. You can see the timing. Top Sale, North Carolina is coming up soon. So jump on that quick if you're still looking. That's going to be super cool. And we're actually releasing, what is today's date?
Today is the 14th of March.
So tomorrow we're going to release the winner of the free seat to the North Carolina one. Yeah. Woo.
Andrea's going to North Carolina. I want to go with her.
There you go.
I'll bring a cheesecake somehow, or I'll make one there.
Well, I was going to say, if you make it there, it's a less big workshop, so you can find me quicker.
Yes. I'll rent a kitchen and make 2 or 3.
Done. So that's how you click and connect. You can go to my website and or Josh's, but check them out there, and you better sign up or you're fired. You're all fired for my friendship.
That's awesome. Okay, well, so let's talk about, you mentioned the Holy Smokers. So let's talk about that, because my husband and I love the garlic one. So tell everybody a little bit about that, why you do it.
Yeah, so Holy Smokers was created in October of 2019 as a final pursuit, or not final, but the beginning stages of the pursuit of our adoption journey. We wanted to help fund it in a different realm. I was actually trying to sell smokers and things like that, and a lot of these companies apparently didn't know what 2019 meant, where you can sell things online. And I was like, I could sell things through my Facebook group. And they're like, no, you need a front. And I was like, well, I'm going to end up selling all the stuff to make you guys money and then pay all the money out to the place I'm renting, and I make no money. So I was like, forget you, I'll do my own thing. So that's where it would blossom from. I've been grilling since I was 16, 15, I don't want to say the year, over 20 years of grilling, but have
You're
enjoyed
still
it.
younger than us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all 28. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
there you go. Forever.
forever. But that's where it kind of started. HolySmokersRubCo.com is where that beginning stages have took off to help fund our adoption journey. And in the long run, I want to, if it continues to work out, it's a very hard journey, but to help fund other families' adoption journeys as well. And what families don't know or people don't know, and it's not to scare people off. We want to encourage, if you're called to adopt, to pursue it. But it can cost, luckily for some, if you do it through in the States, $400 through foster care system, if you're lucky and the mother or father does not take their child back, which, with the home typically is the best location for that child, unless there's abuse that happens or neglect. But it can cost as much up to $50,000 to bring a child home. And we want to be a part of that journey of making a difference. So we value, this goes back to a value thing. We value life and we value those children across the world. And we want to bring them home to their forever families is what we're calling them. So we're not a hero. What I've learned is we're not heroes of these children. They're actually going to change and grow us more as parents and then siblings as the kids. But we're not there to be their heroes. We're there to be their forever family. And I think the most change is going to happen through us as parents. So they're actually heroes of us. So can't wait one day.
How do we find the Holy Smokers?
Oh, yes. Holy Smokers can be found at the wide world web. So www.holysmokersrubco.com. I know that's a little long, so don't pick on me, but holysmokersrubco.com. Or if you can type it in Google, it'll pop it up for you. And we're up there. We've got all sorts of cool stuff on it. 18 incredible flavors. 3 are limited editions, which means they're not always going to be there. So get them before they're gone. But you can get what I call the whole family, the whole barbecue family, and check them out. At the top of our website is a first timers code you can get for 10% off. So those codes up there and look for them, and hopefully you'll connect and share the word.
Garlic's really awesome. Don't get rid of that one.
Yeah. That one's one of my favorites. I created that one specifically for turkey, but it's great on everything.
Oh, it's great on everything.
I mean, it's garlic.
It's garlic.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
right.
it's great.
Garlic.
We went to an olive oil shop here. What's that place called in St. Charles? Olivino. And she gave us this spicy drizzle balsamic.
Yep.
And so we did the garlic on our chicken breasts, and Jay smoked them, and then we put a little on that on top.
Oh man. Now I'm hungry again.
I'll get you one of those.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. I was going to say we need to add that to it. Okay.
That's easy to travel with.
Yeah. Well, Nathan, thank you so much for taking your time out and speaking with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Tell us where listeners can connect with you.
Yes, the best place to connect with me is Facebook. Our Facebook group is All Seniors Workshops. You can jump in there and be as active as you want and post. If you got questions, there's never such a thing as a dumb question unless you're trying to be dumb on purpose, is what we always say. Or Instagram at Loker Photog. Someone stole Loker Photography in Texas, and apparently he emailed me the other day. And it's a distant cousin I never met. So,
that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool story.
But I'm Loker Photog on Instagram or under All Seniors Workshops as a Facebook group. We've got about 3,000 people in there. So jump in and comment and learn and hopefully attend a workshop. We won't cry.
Yes.
Go.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. It was so nice to speak with you. And
yeah,
I think that's a wrap.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Wind Down and Focus. We hope you had as much fun as we did. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode full of photography tips, stories, and of course, some laughs.
Thanks for hanging out with us, and remember, whether you're behind the lens or in front of it, keep having fun and capturing those unforgettable moments.
Catch you next time as we sip, chat, and focus on what makes photography awesome.
Before we go, can you do us a small favor? Go online right now and share this episode with one friend who you think will love it. And while you're at it, we'd love for you to leave us a review. It really helps us reach more photographers like you. Also, don't forget to check out the show notes. We've got a free guide waiting for you when you subscribe. It's called 5 Ways to Get More Photography Clients, and it's packed with actionable tips to help you grow your business. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time on Wind Down and Focus.